The Artemis II mission took place after more than 50 years. Humans returned to the vicinity of the moon. This mission shook the entire world, and especially the astronauts who were there. Space doesn't scare us because of what's out there, but because of what it does to the human mind. On April 1st, 2026, the SLS rocket lifted off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. On board were 4 astronauts: Commander Reid Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, mission specialist Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. Together, this crew did something humanity hadn't done since December 1972, the last time humans traveled to the moon. This time, they didn't land on the lunar surface. Instead, they flew to within about 6,500 kilometers of the moon and traveled farther from Earth than any human in history, 406,000 kilometers away. The previous record was held by Apollo 13 back in 1970. The spacecraft that carried them was called Orion. After completing the mission, they returned to Earth on April 10th, splashing down in the Pacific Ocean near San Diego. Multiple tracking stations around the world were monitoring the mission in real time, receiving data on position, speed, temperature, and even fuel consumption. Independent telescopes also followed their trajectory. Space agencies from Europe, Canada, and Japan, everyone was watching everything that happened out there. Artemis II became one of the most documented missions in history. They had more than 30 cameras on board, internal and external cameras, plus cameras on the astronauts themselves. The crew also brought their personal cameras. Among the many images captured, one particularly powerful photo of Earth wasn't taken by any automatic system. It was shot the old-fashioned way, by a human being who chose the perfect moment and pressed the shutter. The camera used was a Nikon. Besides being a crucial test flight for future crewed lunar landings, this mission also revealed something fascinating: the far side of the moon, the side that always faces away from Earth. And that was exactly one of the moments that deeply affected the crew. Commander Reid Wiseman, the most experienced and trained astronaut on the mission, broke into a cold sweat. In that moment, he said, "I'm getting chills just thinking about it. My hands are sweating." He was describing the exact instant when the spacecraft passed behind the far side of the moon. For the first time in history, human eyes witnessed the Earth completely disappear from view. "It's unbelievable to see your home planet vanish behind the moon," he said. "You can see the atmosphere, the curvature of the Earth projected against the lunar landscape, and then suddenly, it's gone." Imagine that feeling. Your entire planet, everything you love, your family, your home, every person you've ever known, disappearing behind a rock in the middle of space. One of the crew members, Jeremy Hansen, said that in that moment he grabbed a packet of cookies he had brought, opened it, and the 4 of them just sat there in complete silence, eating and staring at the void, 400,000 kilometers from home. The commander also mentioned that it took them more than 4 minutes to process what was happening. Even though they had trained for this their entire lives, experiencing it in the flesh was something completely different. "I was on the far side of the moon. I saw the Earth disappear. What a crazy thing this is." He finished by saying, "I'm going to be thinking about this and talking about it for the rest of my life." Almost every astronaut who has seen the Earth from space describes the same thing. Something inside them changed forever. "I don't know what it is, but I'm not the same person anymore." While the mind tries to process everything, the body is also being pushed to its limits, because we are no longer in our natural habitat. For a short period, They live inside a small capsule traveling at thousands of kilometers per hour outside the Earth under completely different gravitational conditions. The heart has to pump blood against a different kind of gravity. Muscles and bones enter adaptation mode. Even with all the negative effects, everything is carefully monitored by NASA, and astronauts train for years to handle these extreme conditions. Another fascinating and disturbing phenomenon is radiation. Astronauts report seeing flashes of light in their eyes, even with their eyes closed, in complete darkness. These are caused by cosmic radiation, high-energy particles coming from the sun or distant supernovas that pass straight through the spacecraft's hull, through their spacesuits, and directly through their bodies. They describe it as seeing light that isn't really there. Your brain glitches because it doesn't know if the light is real or not. Their bones also suffer. Without the constant load of Earth's gravity, the body begins to reabsorb bone tissue. According to NASA, on very long missions, astronauts can lose 1% to 5% of bone density per month. Although Artemis II lasted only 10 days, the effects were still present, which is why the crew had to exercise up to 2 hours every day inside the spacecraft to trick their skeletons into thinking gravity still existed. By the same logic, muscles atrophy and the immune system weakens. Dormant viruses in the body can reactivate in space. Everything that happens up there has already been studied and planned for. So now I ask you, would you have the courage to travel into deep space? And going back to that classic question, what is more terrifying? The deepest parts of the ocean or outer space? What would you choose? A trip around the moon or a dive down to the wreck of the Titanic? One curious fact: every astronaut who has returned from space has never been the same person again. It's almost like part of their soul stayed out there, or perhaps it's just the overwhelming change in perspective, seeing our planet the way no human was ever meant to see it. This mission has also fueled one of the biggest conspiracy theories linked to the moon, actually increasing the number of people around the world who don't believe humans have ever been to the moon. Not now, and not ever. Leave your comment below and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you. And let's go to the moon!